Slapping the poisonous best friend. My best friend said her mom was coming to school to see her and asked me to lend them my apartment for a night. The next day, I found a boy's sock under the bed in the apartment. 01. I am studying at university in Beijing. My family was worried that I wouldn't adapt to communal living, so they bought me an apartment near the school. However, I mostly stay in the dormitory because it's more convenient, and I only go back to the apartment on weekends. To outsiders, I said it was my relative's place, but not long after, rumors spread that the apartment was prepared for me by a married man, and that I was his canary, among other things. After all, an apartment in Beijing is quite expensive for them. I don't want to bother with such gossip, but the class monitor, Feng Tingting, stood up for me. She took me to the dormitory of the girl who was spreading rumors and slapped her right in the face. That slap made me and Feng Tingting friends. Feng Tingting is a strong-willed girl who pursues fame and fortune and uses some tactics. For example, she leads the isolation of classmates who run against her for class monitor, and forces classmates to contribute money for teachers' gifts on Teachers' Day. I don't get involved in these matters, nor do I make judgments. My dad once told me that when you want to evaluate a person, think more about how everyone's growth environment is different. For this reason, I have never been willing to think too badly of people until this recent incident happened. 02. A few days ago, Feng Tingting said her mom was passing through Beijing to see her and wanted to borrow my apartment to stay for a night. I agreed without much thought. And the next day the vacuum cleaner brought out a boy's sock from under the bed. I was startled and thought a pervert had broken in, so I went to the security room to check the surveillance footage. In the surveillance video, I saw Feng Tingting walking into my apartment with a boy. This boy is my boyfriend, Ma Shujun. Even with my toes, I could guess what the two of them were doing in my apartment. I almost threw up in the surveillance room. Eating cockroaches isn't even this disgusting, really. 03. Ma Shujun is from Hebei, but he pretends to be from the suburbs of Beijing. He has a good appearance, but is empty inside. Since childhood, he has been well versed in success studies, always talking about entrepreneurship and making money. As for what business to start, what money to earn, then don't ask, it's pointless to ask. I think he is more suited to be a gigolo. At first, I was also attracted to his looks, but after a while, I found him to be so boring. A while ago, he said he wanted to test his skills and participate in a certain industrial design competition. But he didn't have money to make a model and asked me if I could help him. I gave him 20,000, but after a month he produced a mediocre product, and after receiving a few criticisms, he lost interest. It doesn't matter that he has no talent or patience. Spending a little money is also inconsequential. The key issue is that he is constantly thinking about ways to trick me into a hotel. It's not that I'm conservative, it's just that his approach is too unattractive, making it hard for me to say yes. So, I had already decided to break up with him, and was thinking about how to say it without hurting him. As a result, he preemptively put a green hat on me, humiliating my good intentions. 04. After watching the surveillance video, I first looked for Ma Shujun. I didn't confront him directly. I wanted to see how he would react. As a result, he brought up breaking up as soon as we met, saying that we weren't suitable for each other, and that we shouldn't waste each other's time. I was left completely confused. In the end, he shamelessly said, "The money I owe you, I will pay you back soon. I am going to participate in the Bindi design competition with Feng Tingting, and we have a great idea. Once we win the prize, I will pay you back. After all, it's not easy for you to make money." No matter how I heard it, I felt something was off. What do you mean by saying that it's not easy for me to make money? It's not that I look down on you, but the money you have is earned by selling your dignity. This statement was truly outrageous, it was absurd to the core. You clarify, how did I sell my dignity to make money? I know you have an older boyfriend, right? How can a college student afford those designer bags? Who told you that? I felt a chill all over, and my head was steaming. After thinking for a moment, Ma Shujun said, "I'm not afraid to be straightforward with you. It was Tingting who told me that a rich girl like her shouldn't be friends with someone like you, as you would lead her astray." I suddenly realized. No wonder they lied to borrow my apartment. Instead of going to a hotel, it turns out they were pretending to be wealthy. Thinking of this, I couldn't help but laugh out loud. What are you laughing at? That so-called great design idea of yours, was it also told to you by Tingting? How do you know? How would I know? A few days ago, Feng Tingting said she wanted to participate in a competition and asked me for help. I said I knew a friend who is a big shot in the field of industrial design, and she asked if I could get some advice from that friend. Could I not know what Feng Tingting meant by getting advice? So I contacted this friend and got a draft he had discarded to give to Feng Tingting. This friend is none other than my brother, who recently received an invitation to be a judge for the binder design competition. Thinking of this, I laughed and said, "You two have been hiding your relationship from me for a long time, right? I wish you both happiness and hope you do well in the competition." Ma Shujun looked surprised and uneasy because I kept laughing. 05. Yes, I was indeed laughing, but inside I felt extremely cold. Looking back at the incident in my freshman year when Feng Tingting stood up for me, the more I think about it, the more I feel something is off. I returned to the dormitory building and found the female classmate, who was slapped by Feng Tingting. She said, "I never spoke ill of you. Those rumors were spread by Feng Tingting herself, and she's trying to pin it on me. Do you have any evidence?" Evidence? Do you still need evidence? Just ask the people around you how she has undermined you behind your back. My heart sank a little more. It seems that Feng Tingting is completely accusing others of what she herself is guilty of. The design is approaching me because there is profit to be made. The most ridiculous thing is that the rumors she spread about me might be something she actually believes, because I have never revealed my background to her. Recently, I had a falling out with my dad over my study abroad issues, and he suspended my credit card. I am used to being extravagant, and suddenly life has become tight. Feng Tingting may have sensed it, which is why she dared to steal my boyfriend and bring him to my apartment to put a green hat on me. Thinking of this, I immediately called my dad, obediently admitted my mistakes, and acted cute to ask for money. As long as I can ruin Feng Tingting, I am willing to spend any amount of money. Of course, just relying on money is not enough. After hanging up with my dad, I video called my brother. He is living a more refined life than I am, and he is currently applying a face mask. I got straight to the point and said, "Bro, can you come to Beijing to be a judge for the Bindi design competition?" "I'm not going. Beijing is so dry. Who can stand it? I need you to come now. Just tell me, what conditions would make you willing to come? Why do you insist that I come? Your sister has been bullied, and I need you to come and uphold justice." "What? I'll have someone book a plane ticket right now. I want to see who dares to bully my sister." He got so angry that he puffed out his cheeks and glared, causing his face mask to fall off. I said, "There's no need to be in such a hurry. You just need to show up as a judge during the competition. And could you please put away your orchid finger? It looks so bad." I chatted with my brother for a while. And just as I hung up, the doorbell of the apartment rang, and Feng Tingting's big face appeared on the security monitor. Is she really bold enough to come here now? 06. I opened the door and asked her nonchalantly, "What's up?" "I left something here last night." Could it be that she really has the nerve to come and ask me for Ma Shujun's socks? Noticing my cold expression, she smiled ingratiatingly and said, "Dabao, what's wrong? Are you unhappy?" This statement made me realize that Ma Shujun hasn't told her about our breakup yet. "I'm fine, just tell me what you're looking for." "I left my earrings here last night." Those earrings were borrowed from Lin Xin. They are a limited edition and quite expensive. The Lin Xin she mentioned also often plays with us. Previously, Feng Tingting called me big treasure, and Lin Xin little treasure, very affectionate. Now I understand what it means to have honeyed words, but a heart of a sword. The reason Feng Tingting hangs out with Lin Xin is that she is beautiful and willing to invest in herself. Her clothing and accessories are much more refined than mine, and naturally, Feng Tingting can benefit from that. However, all of Lin Xin's designer bags and limited edition jewelry are fake, just self-packaging. I asked Feng Tingting, do you really need to borrow such expensive earrings from Lin Xin when you see your mom? I just think they look good, so I borrowed them to wear for a bit. Big treasure, help me look for them. As Feng Tingting said she wanted to come in, I suddenly pushed her, and she was taken aback. She was stunned for a moment and shouted, what's wrong with you today, Lin Chu Chu? Did you eat gunpowder? Not at all, but this apartment only allows people in. Not animals. I crossed my arms and looked at her coldly. She pondered there for a while and figured it out. You know about my relationship with Ma Shujun, don't you? That has nothing to do with it. I'm not familiar with who Ma Shujun is either. Feng Tingting was stunned for a moment and said, darling, it was Ma Shujun who pursued me first. I also. Stop acting you're the one spreading rumors about me outside. Not letting you in has nothing to do with Ma Shujun, I just find you dirty. Upon hearing this, she shot me a glare, her face suddenly transforming into one of arrogance like a character from Sichuan opera. Ha, Lin Chu Chu, did I say something wrong? You've already found a man to rent this apartment for you, treating you like a canary. How can you still have the nerve to look for a boyfriend at school? Isn't that considered cheating first? I'll assume you stole those earrings. It's ridiculous that some people like to judge others based on their narrow experiences. I couldn't be bothered to waste words with her, so I directly called security. When security came up and asked her to leave, she walked away while threatening. Lin Chu Chu, your boyfriend doesn't want you anymore, right? You want to take Lin Xin's earrings for yourself, because you're out of money. Then I'll have her come to you personally tomorrow to ask for them back. Sure, let her come. I said with a smile, feeling completely unfazed inside. Since I decided to take revenge, the principle I set for myself was, never get angry. Dealing with this kind of person, even a hint of anger would be a loss. The next morning, right after class, when the teacher had just left, Feng Tingting surrounded me with Lin Xin and a few other girls. They formed a circle around me. And those who were just watching formed another circle. Lin Xin came up and asked me, Lin Chu Chu, did you take my earrings? Oh, those are your earrings. I found them inexplicably in my bathroom, dirty, so I threw them away. I'm not joking, I saw that pair of earrings on the sink after Feng Tingting left last night. Physically, I found that pair of earrings disgusting, like seeing a dead cockroach. I picked them up with a tissue and threw them in the trash can. Lin Xin shouted, you threw them away. Those are limited edition diamond-studded ones, worth over 100,000 for a pair. Can you afford to pay for them if you threw them away? Feng Tingting fanned the flames. Who knows if she really threw them away, or if she secretly hid them. This counts as occupying someone else's property, over 100,000. If you can't pay, you'll go to jail. Several other girls joined in, saying that if I didn't compensate, they would report me to the police. Feng Tingting must have successfully rallied them together after returning last night today. They are here to isolate me. I'm not worried at all, I've seen this tactic several times before, so I'm naturally well prepared. I took out a jewelry box from my bag and opened it. What are you all in a hurry for? I never said I wouldn't compensate. The pair from yesterday got dirty, so I threw them away, but I bought a new pair to compensate you. I just don't know if you dare to accept it. Lin Xin leaned in to take a look, her eyes shining. This silly girl is extremely vain. It seems she would give her life for these things. She can certainly tell that the pair I have in my hand is genuine, and she knows that her own pair is a fake. I said, this limited edition earring was purchased by a real name member, and I can provide the serial number to verify its authenticity. I had someone buy it for me. And I was just about to call to ask if it's real. All I need is a name. Do you want me to help you check yours too? Lin Shin. No. I don't need your pair. I just want my own. Lin Shin was visibly flustered. Why don't you want it? Is it because your pair is a fake? You got a fake, with rhinestones, and you dare to ask me for compensation of over 100,000 for something worth only a few hundred or thousand? If not, maybe you should call the police and ask them if this counts as extortion. Everyone was looking at Lin Shin. She has always been a girl who cares about her image, pretending to be a rich girl, and couldn't stand being exposed like this in public. She tugged at Foam Tingting's sleeve, signaling that she wanted to leave. Of course, I couldn't let them leave just like that. I took a few steps back, stood at the highest row of the lecture hall, and addressed the onlookers. I have a question for everyone. This Foam Tingting here is my former best friend. She brought my ex-boyfriend to sleep at my apartment. She also left the earrings she borrowed from Lin Shin at my place. When I saw they were dirty, I threw them away. Now I'm buying a new pair to compensate her, but why is she afraid to accept it? Can anyone tell me? Foam Tingting was anxious and pointed at me, saying, Lin Choo Choo, stop spreading rumors. I'm spreading rumors. Then let me show everyone the surveillance screenshots of my former best friend Foam Tingting and my ex-boyfriend holding hands as they walk into my apartment love nest, in high definition. As I spoke, I pulled out a stack of color-printed surveillance images from my bag and scattered them. The onlooking classmates were eager to see, but hesitated to pick them up since Foam Tingting was the student council president of our department. Yet they couldn't help but steal glances. Foam Tingting became furious and raised her hand to hit me. At that moment, a black figure rushed in from the doorway and grabbed her raised hand. This tall and strong northeastern man, wearing sunglasses, was the bodyguard I hired. He snorted coldly, which startled Foam Tingting. Seeing that Foam Tingting had lost her intention to attack, he finally let go, leaving a purplished mark on her hand. Foam Tingting looked at me, then at the bodyguard, and backed down. She was shaking with anger, and I was grinning with delight. I just liked to watch the jerk tremble while smiling, seeing them flustered and powerless. This feeling, if experienced a few more times, might become addictive. Foam Tingting had no choice but to let a few of her sisters follow her, picking up the papers I scattered, leaving the lecture hall in disgrace. As soon as she left, I scattered another wave. Feeling quite pleased. 07. During lunch, I received a message from Lin Shin. She explained that she didn't want to go against me, but she had some leverage in Foam Tingting's hands. I roughly understood the situation. Several times, Foam Tingting wanted to gossip about Lin Shin with me. She was used to relying on gossip about absent friends to draw closer to the friend in front of her. However, I always found excuses to interrupt. This kind of gossip shouldn't be listened to. If you really take it in, it becomes a moral chain between you and her, tightening the bond. I was calculating in my mind that making Foam Tingting's reputation stink among her classmates would not cause her any substantial harm. Since she became the president of the student council, she has been acting arrogantly every day, and her reputation has long been tarnished. As long as the school leaders and teachers like her, she will still reap the benefits, and who knows? They might even secure her a graduate school recommendation, then nurture her to continue harming society. I will never let it go. I must continue to strike at her, and put in more effort to strike thoroughly. Thinking of this, I replied to Lin Shin, saying, if you have any sense, stay away, or you might end up getting splattered with blood. 08. I decided not to reveal my family background. I need to make Foam Tingting think I am easy to bully. Only in this way will she take my brother's draft to participate in the competition. It would be best if she clears all the rounds and heads straight to the finals, then there will be a good show to watch. I also approached my advisor to sign up for the competition, partly to understand the progress of Foam Tingting and her team, fearing that they might make too many changes, making it difficult to identify plagiarism. After looking at it for the first couple of days, I realized I was completely overthinking it. Ma Shujun is just an uneducated fool who can only make superficial changes. But on the third day, Feng Tingting found a junior to act as an external aid. This junior wears large black framed glasses, and at first glance, he looks like a designer material. The junior has a lot of ideas and almost completely overturned my brother's design to redo it. I thought to myself, I need to recruit him under my wing before he finishes. This junior works hard like a donkey, while Feng Tingting and Ma Shujun are busy dating and not doing any real work. That day, the junior worked alone until late at night, and I went over to greet him. "Hello, senior," he stood up in a panic. "Are you going to collaborate with Feng Tingting and Ma Shujun for the competition?" "No, it's President Feng who thinks highly of me and asked me to help out." "Help out? I think you seem more like the one in charge." "No. The president and the others provide direction, I just execute." In just 3 sentences, I could tell he was an honest person, kind, humble, and hardworking. However, honest people often hand this world over to the wicked because of their unprincipled kindness, boundless humility, and insufficiently selfish efforts. I feel it's unfair for him. Did Feng Tingting tell you that even though you are not an official member, it can help you gain experience, enhance your resume, and be beneficial for future job hunting? I guess she also promised you that this semester she would consider you for the inspirational scholarship, right? Senior, the president did say that. She's just making empty promises. Do you really believe her? What power does she have, being just a gopher for the teachers? Seeing me speak so bluntly, the junior just smiled foolishly and didn't say a word. "What's your name?" "Zhong Jin, named by my mom. Hoping that I make progress every day." "Zhong Jin, I think your design skills are quite good. How about joining me for the competition? It'll give you all the prize money, and your name will be on the work too." This isn't good, after all. I promised the president first. Don't rush to reply to me. I'll come to find you tomorrow, and then I'll give you an offer you can't refuse. The next day, as soon as I arrived at the studio, I saw Feng Tingting scolding Zhong Jin. "You promised to finish it today last night, so what happened? Do you not want to do it anymore? If you don't want to, you can leave. We brought you in out of kindness, but you didn't seize this opportunity properly." "President, I haven't rested for too long, and I fell asleep last night because I was too tired." Don't give me those excuses who can't find an excuse. Feng Tingting was bossy. And Zhong Jin nodded and bowed. Surrounding them were third-year students who knew that Feng Tingting was exploiting the junior, yet they all turned a blind eye. "Tingting, don't be angry, it's unnecessary. Zhong Jin, just hurry up today and catch up with the progress." At this moment, Ma Shujun jumped out to play the good cop. I couldn't stand it any longer, so I quickly walked over and patted Zhong Jin's shoulder firmly. "Lift your head up. You're a boy, can you really endure being humiliated like this in public?" "Lin Chu, what does this have to do with you?" Feng Tingting shouted at me, and I pretended not to hear. "Zhong Jin, I am officially inviting you to join my design team now." Chu, are you trying to undermine us? I know you're still mad at me, but there's no need to target us everywhere. I pretended not to hear Ma Shujun's typical remarks as well. Zhong Jin looked troubled, with a pained expression on his face. I said, "You're in your second year now, right? I sent your work to the HR departments of several big companies last night. They were impressed and offered you a summer internship. Check your email. The problem now is that there are quite a few offers, so you'll have to choose which one to go for." Zhong Jin was shocked and took out his phone to check. Then he froze and murmured, "Is this real? I'm not dreaming, am I? There's also a private scholarship that I've transferred to your account. Check it out." He tapped on his phone a few times, looked up at me, with an expression as if he had seen a miracle. "Let me ask you again, Zhong Jin, are you willing to?" "Yes, of course I am." "Great." Zhong Jin has learned to answer quickly. He quickly packed his things and moved to my side. "Zhong Jin. How dare you? Feng Tingting wanted to stop Jongjin, but he couldn't hear her at all, making her face turn a mix of green and purple with anger. Lin Chu Chu. You take money from men and dig under my wall, don't you have any shame? Who is the one without shame? You trick Jongjin into doing designs for you, while you do nothing all day and treat him like a donkey. I just want to ask you, in 3 years of college, have you learned even a little bit? Now that has not helping you, you're panicking. If you have the ability, do it yourself. What are you panicking about? Lin Chu Chu, can't we part on good terms? Can't you be a little magnanimous and let me go? Ma Shujun suddenly said, and I laughed in his mind. I probably still wallowed in the pain of heartbreak, unable to forget him. Please, Ma Shujun, what are you? Do you really think I'm angry with you? I'm just upholding justice. I can't stand people who are incompetent yet love to show off. If you have the ability, do your own things. Feng Tingting glared at me fiercely, looking as if she wanted to hit me. But she was afraid of the bodyguards who might come out of nowhere, so she could only threaten, Lin Chu Chu, just wait. Don't think I have no way to deal with you. If you have something, then show it. 09. From then on, every time I saw Feng Tingting and Ma Shujun struggling with the design proposal, I felt very pleased. Without Jongjin, their revisions became unsustainable, reverting to the original version by my brother. I worked on the proposal with Jongjin. Although it was tiring, it was very worthwhile. Knowing that my professional skills completely overshadowed Feng Tingting and the others was a different kind of joy. One day, I left our college building very late, and as soon as I went out, I saw my dad's car parked at the entrance. Choo choo, are you finally done with your work? Driver Uncle Wang came to greet me, took my laptop bag, and opened the car door for me. In the car, my dad acted aloof. So I responded with coldness. Why are you guys here? How long have you been waiting for me? Just arrived, my dad said, his lips barely moving. Uncle Wang started the car and said while driving, we've been here for several hours. I heard from your classmate that you were busy, and your dad said not to disturb you. Choo choo, you can't do this. Studying is important, but you still need to have a good dinner. My dad coughed twice, hinting for Uncle Wang to say less. But Uncle Wang has been our driver for many years, so has like family and ignored him. They picked me up to have dinner in a hotel private room. During the meal, I asked my dad if he had work in Beijing. Of course I do. I just happened to pass by, so I came to see you. Uncle Wang quickly explained, that's not the case. He heard from your brother that you had conflicts with your classmates at school, so he came specifically. I knew it. It's just a small matter. I can handle it. You don't need to come all the way here. Uncle Wang said, choo choo, don't be so cold. A few days ago, when you called your dad, you were quite sweet, weren't you? Your dad was happy for a whole week, because of that call. My dad was still trying to act tough, but Uncle Wang exposed him. I watched and secretly laughed. Old Wang, mind your words. My dad couldn't hold back anymore and waved his hand to stop him from talking. Then, my dad turned to me and said, I won't let anyone bully my daughter, but it's even better if you can handle it yourself. I hope my daughter can succeed without relying on me. By the way, there's something else. I need to apologize to you in person for forcing you to go abroad to study design and cutting off your credit card. So please don't hold a grudge against your dad. I stood up, hugged my dad's neck from behind and said, Dad, I know you care about me. Next time you have something on your mind, don't let Uncle Wang speak for you. This hug made my dad both happy and shy, and afterward, he enjoyed the meal with a big smile. After dinner, they took me back to my apartment. As we were getting close, my dad asked Uncle Wang to park, and said he wanted to walk with me. I held my dad's hand all the way, feeling warm inside. When he got downstairs, he said he couldn't go up, as he had to fly to Shenzhen overnight for work reasons. I looked at the white hair appearing at his temples, and felt a bit uncomfortable. My Superman will grow old too. The next morning, I was woken up by a phone call. It was Jong Jin calling me. He said, "Senior, hurry up and check the school's confession wall. Someone is spreading rumors about you, saying you have an improper relationship with an old man, and they even posted a photo." As soon as I heard this, I instantly became alert and quickly opened the confession wall, where I saw a photo of my dad and me. 10. Words can be terrifying. I was holding my dad, a normal scene, but it became incredibly filthy because of the anonymous poster's description. Through insinuation, the poster told a story about a female college student being a gold digger for a middle-aged wealthy businessman, and the comments below were even more disgusting. No need to think this must be the work of Fong Tingting. She spread rumors about me, and I didn't care, but now involving my dad, I really can't tolerate it. I went straight to school and found Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun in the studio. There were other classmates present, and their gazes at me were somewhat strange. I walked up to Fong Tingting and slapped her hard. Yes, I didn't stick to my principles, got angry, and forgot that my bodyguard wasn't here today. Fong Tingting was about to retaliate when Jong Jin rushed over and timely blocked her. Fong Tingting tried to rush over several times, but was pushed back by him each time. As for Ma Shujun, that coward was just standing there, looking helpless. "Lin Chu Chu, you dare to hit me? You're asking for death. I'm hitting you because you posted rumors about me." Upon hearing this, Fong Tingting became smug. She stopped her actions and said loudly, wanting to let the classmates around her hear. "Yo, are you anxious about this? That post has nothing to do with me, but I saw the photo too. That old man is your boyfriend, right? Old man, you old man." I casually grabbed a paintbrush and threw it at her, but unfortunately, I missed. "Anxious, huh? Aren't you usually calm and collected? What's going on? Did I hit a sore spot? Fong Tingting, are you sick? Do you know who that man in the photo is? That's my dad." When I shouted, everyone present was stunned for a moment, as if they needed a little time to think, because things weren't as they had imagined. Seeing this, Fong Tingting, afraid that the dirty water she had tried to splash on me wouldn't stick, squeezed her throat and said sarcastically, "Hey, your dad. Who knows if he's your biological dad, or a sugar daddy?" As soon as those words came out, some boys around looked at each other, their gazes particularly lewd. People are like this: the dirtier the thing, the easier it is to spread, and the more likely it is to be believed. Seeing all this, I suddenly realized I needed to calm down. First of all, arguing with her is useless. We need to report it to the police. Spreading rumors online can be punishable by law. Fong Tingting, I have already taken a screenshot of this rumor. If it gets forwarded over 500 times, it will be considered a criminal case. If you posted it, just wait to go to jail." She rolled her eyes and said, "Ha, go ahead and report it. Is that really your dad? With the evidence in hand, we cannot let the rumors continue to spread. We need to contact the administrator to delete the post. No, it's better to report it to the police first." I was so angry that I became a bit flustered. At that moment, an announcement suddenly came from the college building. "Notice, Mr. Lin, a graduate of our college, will be visiting today and giving a lecture in the first lecture hall. Students are requested to arrive in 1 hour to attend." Immediately after, notifications kept coming in from the college group and class group on our phones. The counselor required every student to be present, indicating that the college places great importance on this visitor. The students were surprised because there had been no prior notice, and they murmured about what kind of big shot the visitor might be. I was also very surprised, because this Lin Xing is none other than my dad. Didn't he fly to Shenzhen? Why is he back again? 11. 1 hour later, all the faculty and students were seated in the largest first-tier classroom. The dean took the stage and introduced my dad and his company. Then, amidst the applause, my dad went on stage. He clearly hadn't prepared a speech. He just strung together content from his previous speeches, talked about his entrepreneurial history, and finally promised to establish a scholarship for our college, improvising some jokes. His success, along with his jokes, was enough to impress all the students in the college. The speech ended with thunderous applause. I had no interest in the entire speech, because I had heard it too many times. When I turned my head, I saw Fong Tingting operating her phone under the desk. I also took out my phone and opened the rumor wall about me. I just saw a newly posted comment, anonymous. The middle-aged man in the photo is actually an alumnus, and he has the nerve to come to the School of Design to give a speech. What a greasy middle-aged man. This comment was clearly posted by Fong Tingting. Soon, this comment received some likes. It seems there are quite a few people sneaking a look at their phones. After the applause stopped, on stage, my dad suddenly changed his expression and said, "My formal speech has ended. However, I have some side notes to share. You see, yesterday, I came to the school to see my daughter. As a result, some rumors appeared online, and because of these rumors, I have to introduce my daughter to everyone to avoid misunderstandings." My dad raised his hand and pointed at me. "Choo-choo. Please stand up so everyone can get to know you." I had no choice but to stand up, and all my classmates looked at me. These gazes were filled with envy, surprise, while Fong Tingting's eyes were filled with fear. She just realized that the person on stage was my dad. On stage, my dad continued, "This is a good school that has nurtured many talents. As an alumnus, I hope everyone spends more time on their studies and gives back to society in the future. Thank you." My dad turned and left the lecture hall. Then, the counselor took the stage, and the atmosphere in the classroom suddenly became extremely tense. The counselor had a very grim expression, as if ready to eat someone. "Last night, among you, someone spread rumors online about our outstanding alumnus and his daughter. This behavior is shameful. It has brought disgrace to our college. The internet is not a lawless land. Our school will not tolerate this matter." Silence fell. Then, two uniformed police officers walked in. The counselor continued, "The cyber police have identified the poster, and our school will cooperate with the police to investigate this student who spread rumors. We also hope that other students can take this as a warning." I noticed that the girls around Fong Tingting were chattering nervously. On stage, the police officer glanced at the information and shouted, "Which one is Lin Xin?" Lin Xin raised her hand, and her hand was shaking. "Please come with us." Lin Xin stood up and walked down, trembling under everyone's gaze, her face completely fallen, tears streaming down, turning her exquisite makeup into two patches of smudges on her face. This silly girl. I had already told her to stay away, yet she was used as a pawn by others. Fong Tingting placed one hand on her chest, wearing an expression of having escaped a disaster. I knew very well that she was the mastermind behind it all, thinking to myself, "Don't worry, your turn will come soon." 12. Under that post, people started to debunk the rumors. They even uploaded pictures of the police taking Lin Xin away, and the rumors fell apart on their own. I accompanied my dad to the airport. On the way, I learned that after seeing the rumors, he immediately flew back from Shenzhen to Beijing to contact the school for a speech and ask the police to investigate. I find it hard not to admire such efficiency. "Dad," I said, "I could handle it, but in the end, you are my daughter, and it is only right for me to do anything for you. However, there are downsides to my actions this time." "How could that be?" My dad pondered for a moment and said, "The higher you stand, the more people will want to pull you down. Now that everyone knows you are my daughter, you have to be more careful in the future." 13. I did not understand my dad's words. In fact, ever since my dad made an appearance at the college, the counselors and teachers have been particularly polite to me. The female classmates, who used to try to isolate me with Fong Tingting, have also come to curry favor. Ma Shujun came to apologize, saying he had misunderstood me before. I gave him a hard time, saying he and Fong Tingting were a perfect match, and he shouldn't mind. Foolish boys and scummy girls, aren't they a perfect match? Even Fong Tingting has learned to be smart and is avoiding me. This feeling is really a bit unfamiliar. I thought to myself, I can only wait for Fong Tingting to crash into the final of the binder design competition, and then give her a good beating. But I didn't expect that my dad's words were accurate, because of his appearance. There were some twists and turns in between. 14. It's like this. We are all guided by the same teacher for this binder industrial design competition. This teacher is not young anymore. And when my dad came to give a speech, he was very unhappy to hear about it. Just a businessman, does he have the qualifications to give a speech at our college? I learned from others that this teacher has said this several times, and there is no shortage of jealousy from literary types in this matter. It is said that love for the house extends to the crow, and hatred for the house likely extends to the crow as well. Fong Tingting and this teacher set me up. After the design proposal was submitted to this teacher, he suddenly called Zhong Jin and me to his office. When we arrived, we found Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun were already there. We stood in front of the teacher's desk, and he bluntly said, "In design, the most shameless thing is plagiarism. You two have disappointed me greatly." Zhong Jin was taken aback and almost knelt down. I said, "Teacher, I don't understand why you are saying this about us." "Why? You can see for yourselves." I picked up the two proposals on the desk and found that Fong Tingting's proposal was almost identical to mine. "No, teacher, these two proposals do look similar, but how can you be so sure that we copied them and not the other way around?" Fong Tingting has been communicating with me about this proposal since the initial idea. I watched it take shape bit by bit, and it was modified based on my suggestions. So they couldn't have copied it. Is it just because he didn't seek his guidance? Teacher, you say we plagiarized, but we do not accept that. This proposal took a lot of time for Zhong Jin and me. Not accepting it. With your skills, can you really create this design? No amount of money can justify stealing someone else's hard work. Just because your family is capable doesn't mean you are. Please do not confuse the two matters. Is there something wrong with what I said? The teacher stood up in a hurry. Clearly showing his hostility towards me, there was no benefit in confronting him head-on. Teacher, let's not discuss right or wrong. Now that the two proposals are the same, please tell us how you wish to handle it. The teacher took a sip of tea and said leisurely, "My opinion is this. You should withdraw from the competition this time." At this moment, Zhong Jin turned red with anger and said, "No way, teacher. This proposal was created by us working overtime. I cannot accept this outcome." You have to accept what you cannot accept. If you insist on participating in the competition, I can only treat you as cheaters, just like handling exam cheating. Zhong Jin still didn't give up, saying, "Teacher, can we change the plan? There's still time." "No, there's no time for you to change. This time, you might as well not participate." At this moment, Zhong Jin was in tears. He cried, saying, "Teacher, please give us a chance." Fong Tingting was smug, saying, "If I had known this would happen, why bother to copy?" When she said this, her head was held high. "We're not participating anymore. Who cares about this lousy competition? Let's go, Zhong Jin, don't embarrass yourself here." I was furious and pulled Zhong Jin away. 15. As we reached the corner outside, Zhong Jin still looked dejected. "All right, Zhong Jin, that's enough for the performance." Zhong Jin smiled and asked me, "Do you think they believe it?" Of course they believe it. Didn't you see how proud she looked? This time, Fong Tingting was playing the role of the intruder. And I intentionally let her take over this nest. A while ago, Zhong Jin discovered Trojan software on his computer. Upon investigation, he found out that it could monitor his computer and steal our design plans. I suddenly understood it was likely that Fong Tingting, after learning my identity, was too afraid to use the plan I gave her. So she came to steal what I was currently working on. After all, with the support of her mentor, she could take this current work without fear. Since she wanted to steal, I was ready to let her steal. So, we secretly worked on our own plan, and gradually sent a business proposal that my brother had previously collaborated on with a foreign partner to their monitored computer. The Bindi design competition is open to both schools and design companies. I registered a design company a long time ago, and submitted the design proposal from Jongjin, and me under the company's name. Thinking about the scene in the teacher's office just now. Jongjin and I couldn't stop laughing when Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun suddenly passed by. Jongjin immediately put on a distressed expression. Fong Tingting glanced at us and said, "So, how does it feel to have wasted your efforts?" I remained silent, pretending to hit the wall, thinking to myself, idiot. Let you be proud for another 2 days. 16. The Bindi design competition is held at the Lear Convention Center, where many industry experts and media have come. Both Fong Tingting's and my proposals made it to the top 10. The final requires contestants to bring samples, prepare a presentation PPT, and explain their design concepts to the judges on site, with the judges ultimately selecting the top 3. In the contestants' lounge, I saw Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun, who were dressed to the nines. With their outfits, one might think they were attending some celebrity gala. Fong Tingting was surprised to see me and Jongjin, and her gaze seemed to be constantly wary of me. When Jongjin and I went up to present our work, she realized that we were participating in the competition under the name of a design company. As I came down, she mocked, "Where did you find the time to come up with another proposal? Did you copy it?" I smiled and said, "You'll find out soon enough." She seemed to sense something was off and showed a look of panic, just as the host invited her and Ma Shujun to the stage. She immediately put on a smiling face and took the stage. Their design proposal received unanimous praise from the judges, and they were all smiles, constantly thanking their teachers in every other sentence. The teacher sat in the audience, feeling quite dissatisfied. Both Jongjin and I laughed, thinking, let's wait and see the show. From a distance, I made a gesture to my brother in the guest seat, and he responded with an okay. I originally wanted him to be a judge, but since I was competing, I had him decline to avoid giving people a reason to talk about our relationship. The competition results came out, and Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun took first place, while Jongjin and I got third. The host presented them with trophies and prize money. With the sound of cameras clicking. Winning this award means gaining a bit of fame in the industry. Ma Shujun, in a moment of pride, kissed Fong Tingting on the forehead. This scene was captured by a reporter with a nose for news. I can already imagine the headline. College couple wins the Bindi Design Award, both talented and good-looking. At this moment, Fong Tingting didn't forget to glance at me, showing off. At that moment, my brother suddenly stood up in the guest area and raised his hand for the microphone. The host said, "Could we ask the staff to bring the microphone to Mr. Lin Mao in the audience?" My brother took the microphone and coughed twice. The host said, "Let me introduce Mr. Lin Mao, a well-known designer in the industry. I'm sure everyone has seen his work." The judges applauded my brother out of respect. "Thank you." The host continued, "As a senior in the industry, do you have anything to say to these rising stars on stage?" "I do have 2 things to say. And I can't hold back." Mainly directed at the champion team, Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun. They both smiled and nodded politely, waiting for my brother's praise. I can sum up their designs in 3 words: copy, steal, dogs. As soon as these words were spoken, the entire venue fell silent for a moment, and then began to whisper to each other. Fong Tingting and Ma Shujun's faces suddenly turned cold. She glanced at me and realized something was wrong. Their proposal is clearly plagiarized from the work I collaborated on with a Finnish company 3 years ago. Although this work is not well known domestically, it is a commercial piece, and such plagiarism is shameful and illegal. Fong Tingting panicked and said, "We haven't seen your work." "Haven't seen it." My brother walked from the guest seats to the stage, holding a rolled-up poster in his hand. The reporters rushed over, and at that moment, he unfolded the poster for everyone to see. The facts speak for themselves. This document in my hand is the proposal I created back then. Aside from some unnecessary details they added, these two designs are almost identical. Feng Tingting and Ma Shujun looked at each other, feeling helpless on stage. Feng Tingting turned back to me and said through gritted teeth, "You design me." "What else?" I smiled. My brother is still on stage, acting indignant. This plagiarism makes me doubt the professionalism of the organizers of this competition. And their two teachers, while not entirely unworthy of being called teachers, at least indicate that there are issues with their professional standards. The scene was in chaos, with judges and organizers discussing how to handle the incident. But the reporters were excited now they finally had news to write about. Cameras clicked away at the faces of Feng Tingting and Ma Shujun. And Feng Tingting hurriedly pulled Ma Shujun to escape. The two who were once the pride of the heavens suddenly became the rats everyone wanted to hit. I said to them, "Congratulations, you've made a name for yourselves in this battle." Feng Tingting's face turned ashen, she surely understood the seriousness of the issue. Plagiarism in such a major competition would definitely get them expelled from school. She could forget about making it in this industry in the future. To be honest, the worse her expression got, the more pleasing it was to me. 17. The news about Feng Tingting and Ma Shujun's plagiarism soon came out. The school was implicated and faced criticism, with netizens seeking justice and demanding punishment for academic misconduct, calling for their expulsion. But the school is still hesitating. As soon as I saw it, I knew that wouldn't do. I had to add fuel to the fire. First, spend money to get the plagiarism news trending. Then find those classmates who were bullied by Feng Tingting and get them to expose her. When the tree falls, the monkeys scatter. When the wall collapses, everyone pushes. A junior had previously recorded footage of Feng Tingting checking dorms, and her behavior was like that of a gang leader. The junior was afraid to post it before, but once she did, it went viral. Soon, various scandals emerged online, nailing Feng Tingting to the pillar of shame. She even wanted to clarify, claiming she was depressed due to online attacks, but I directly had the website ban her for spreading false information. If you want to compete with me, I'll show you the power of capital. Finally, the school could no longer withstand the pressure and expelled both her and Ma Shujun. Thinking that in a few days, I wouldn't have to see this pair of foolish scumbags at school, I slept particularly well. 18. A few days later, someone came to visit my apartment. A middle-aged woman appeared on the door. Surveillance. Her hair was messy, and she had deep nasolabial folds. She looked like a woman who had suffered a lot, and standing beside her was Feng Tingting. I didn't dare to open the door, fearing that Feng Tingting would act out of desperation. "What is it?" I said to the door intercom. "Miss, I am Feng Tingting's mother. I've heard everything about you and my daughter from her. I brought her here today to apologize to you." Her mother looked kind and honest. I couldn't understand how she could raise a daughter like Feng Tingting. "Aunt, what do you mean by that? Nothing happened between Feng Tingting and me." "Don't say that. Our Tingting has indeed offended you. I came this time to ask you, considering you were friends before, if you could plead with the school not to expel my Tingting. It's not easy for someone from our small place to get into here." "Auntie, whether or not she gets expelled is not up to me. I beg you, young lady. I know Tingting is very jealous, very vain, and wants to stand out. Our family's financial situation doesn't allow for that, which is why she behaves this way." Usually quite talkative, Feng Tingting remained silent on the side. Her mother analyzed it so thoroughly that I didn't know what to say, and I fell silent for a long time. Her mother thought I was ignoring them and suddenly started hitting Feng Tingting. "You kneel down and beg her. How big of a mistake did you make?" Feng Tingting didn't retaliate, still silent, staring at the camera. At first, she was defiant, but gradually her gaze softened and she cried. I had never seen Feng Tingting cry before. I understand Feng Tingting's mother, but I have not a shred of sympathy for Feng Tingting. I said, "Auntie, Do you know how she deceived me when she brought my ex-boyfriend to my apartment to spend the night? She said you came to school to see her, which is why I lent her my place. I know about this. It was Ting who was in the wrong. So you need to understand that she targeted me first, deliberately trying to disgust me. Later, it was always her who caused trouble for me, and I only retaliated. To be fair, I, Lin Chu, would not target anyone for no reason. The way things are now is entirely her own doing. If the school expels her, I have no ability to help her. In the access control surveillance, Ting's mother's face dimmed like a burnt-out candle. In the end, she said, I understand. I apologize for disturbing Miss Lin. At that moment, I opened the door and politely invited the aunt to come in and sit down. But she shook her head with a bitter smile and left with Ting. After that day, I never saw Ting again. I felt no sympathy for her because sympathy for the bad is a harm to the good.